Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we will start now the workshop. Some people are having some technical difficulties logging in. Inshallah, they can always go on the YouTube video and then watch it from there. So, Alhamdulillah, thank you, Shukran, for taking the time out and coming to this workshop and seeing what QuranBook is. And also, this is sort of a refresher for those that have been using QuranBook. And also, it will be a workshop. It's not going to be a presentation. In the beginning of the year, we did a presentation of what QuranBook is about, how does it work, and all those things that are actually not the app itself. So today we're going to be going through the application. We're going to demonstrate how the application works, how the application helps teachers capture lessons easily, how it helps them keep track of lessons, how the application helps communicate those lessons to the parents with ease, and also how the parents can access it. We mentioned in the beginning of the year that you could access it via email, via the app, and via WhatsApp. Now, prior WhatsApp accessing, the parent had to message a number. But now we've updated it where, as a teacher, you can send a message to the parent. So we will start, inshallah, by just going through the website. Let me just share my screen. So let me know if you can see my screen. Just give a thumbs up. Okay, shukran. So this is QuranBook. Right? QuranBook is an application, as we know, that is there to simplify Quran memorization, tracking, and communication. So over the years, many Hifz schools have been using the book system, where they would write in the book what the child has done, and then that book had to go home, and then the parent had to sign that and that acknowledgement of signing would indicate that the parent is on track with the child's journey. But in the busy lives that we live today, many parents sometimes they don't get the chance to check the book. And if you don't check the book once, it happens twice, it happens thrice, and then it just happens for months. And then in that way, the parent has no idea what is happening, like within the child's Quran memorization journey. And they would come to the teacher a few months later and they would ask, how far is my child? And the parent would teacher would indicate that he's maybe just memorized the extra alpha juice or something. And this would sometimes, frustrate some parents because they thought the child was further. And people think a lot of things, but sometimes it's not the reality. So what QuranBook does is it removes all these issues that are experienced with the book. Right? So students forgetting the book to be signed, parents asking how my child is doing, searching through old papers for progress records. Like if you want to know how a child did in a particular juz, and also students signing their own books, trying to remember who attended class yesterday, and wondering if students are meeting their targets and deadlines. So these are all things that QuranBook aims to resolve. And we've developed an application over 3 years of research. So it's not just something that was developed and, it's in the community and start using it. It's actually developed with 3 years of research. And these are some screens of the application itself. It's all on the website. And Alhamdulillah, we've traveled the country from Cape Town until as close to the borders of Mozambique and Eastern Cape, like around the country, sitting with Hifz schools and seeing what are the challenges they are facing and how can we translate those into technology and make it easier for teachers. Alhamdulillah, we have last year alone, the schools that have been using QuranBook have captured 100,000+ lessons, right? And there was 30 schools that were on the app last year with 160 teachers, with 1,000+ parents, almost getting communications with regards to how their child is doing and being on track with their child. And these are some videos. I'm not going to play it now, but you can always go watch it on YouTube. This is Sheikh Munir's testimonial, Sheikh Abdurrahman Iftahuddin from Islamia College, the principal. And then these are some things that parents say, as soon as lessons are captured, I can see the updates and my kids get home. They're excited to find out how they've scored on the day's lesson. And Alhamdulillah, we've been on some media platforms like Salam Media, Radio 786, Voice of the Cape also. And Alhamdulillah, this is just a story behind QuranBook. And our objective is to streamline Quran memorization and communication with parents. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a new account from scratch. And we're going to go through the whole process of how to capture lessons and how to communicate those lessons. And in today's workshop, we're mainly going to focus on how to communicate those lessons via WhatsApp. Let me use a different email rather. Okay, there it came through. Every time I say let me use a different email, it comes through. Alhamdulillah. But this is how it's going to work. So you're going to get your temporary password. If you request us to resend it, then what will happen is the old one will be invalidated. So this is, it could be seen as a technical issue, but it's basically how the app works. So you will now copy your URL, you'll paste it in there, you'll copy your email, you'll get your password, and you'll paste it in. And then you will sign in. And then once you sign in, that was a temporary password. So you now have to enter your own password, your unique password, right? So, and your password must meet the criteria below. Right? It must meet the criteria below, like it must have an uppercase letter, a lowercase letter, a number, a special character, and it must be at least 8 digits. So once that happens, you click proceed, and then the app will log you in. Now you are logged into the application itself. And once you are logged into the application itself, let's just hide. Okay, let's leave it for now. Once you're logged into the application itself, you can then, now you will have to create a class. You have to add students and you'll have to add indicators. So by creating a class, you will just click create class. Then you'll add a class. And let's call this junior class. Well, let's just call it juniors. And then you press save. So now you have a class called juniors. I can add another class and I can call it seniors. And now I have a class called seniors. Now when I go back to my dashboard, I will see that my class has now been added. And the next thing I can now do is I will add indicators first before I add students. So when I go to indicators, so indicators are used to keep track of what student needs or what the student needs to work on. So mistakes, stuck, tajweed, makharij, etc. Those are your indicators. So when you click on create a new indicator, you can call it a mistake. Now, in tomorrow's workshop for parents, we will show this, the name of the indicator and the description and the percentage for them to see how the percentages are calculated. So this, we can say when a student makes a mistake, that is what a mistake is. And you can now decide to create a general percentage, so to deduct whenever a child makes a mistake. Or you can create a specific one for new lesson, for recent lesson, and for old lesson. So what this percentage does is, we assume that when the child comes to recite their lesson, they know their work 100%. So what you can do is you can say, if you make a mistake, I'm going to deduct 10%, right? If you make 4 mistakes, you're going to get 60% for this lesson. So that's how the percentage works. So I'm not going to go specific. I'm just going to keep it general for now. So it will deduct 10 for any lesson type. And then you'll press save. So now we created one indicator. Now I can go and I create another indicator. And this one I'll call tajweed. And we're going to say when a student makes a tajweed mistake, right? So this is now when a student makes a tajweed mistakes. And let's say in here I deduct 12 maybe, right? And I say save. So now we can see we have mistake and we have tajweed. I can add another one. Let's call it stuck. And then we say when a student stucks. And then this, I will say maybe 5. Right? So now you can add as many indicators as you want on here. right? And these indicators will then help guide you into see how you can help the child, and this will also be communicated with the parents. So now when I go back to the dashboard, what I notice is I now have I have a class, I have classes, I've got indicators. The only thing for me that's missing for me to start using the account is students. So I will click on add students. So now I have two classes. I've got a junior class and I have a senior class. So now I need to add my students into QuranBook. And the way I will be doing that is I will click on add student and I will add the student's name. So let's call this boy Musa Moses, right? And we'll select the class to add him into. So he'll go into the junior class. And then I'll press save. So now Musa Moses is added into the junior class. Now you can go back and you can go add as many students as possible. But for now, we're going to continue and we're going to add a guardian for Musa Moses. So when I click on add a guardian, I will add his guardian. Let's call this guardian's name, what are we going to call this? We're going to call him Yusuf, all right, Moses. That is this guardian's name. And the guardian's email is, I'm going to use my email here, the one that I used just now. And we're going to say plus, we're going to call it guardian. That's the email. It's a long email, gmail.com. And then we're going to enter the phone number for the guardian. So the phone number for the guardian is going to be that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to deliberately enter an incorrect phone number. So this phone number is not correct. I deliberately enter an incorrect phone number. Now that incorrect phone number is saved into QuranBook. It's 9 digits. So it's saved into QuranBook, right? And the guardian now has received an email. So if I were to go to my email, because I use the same email, you'll see there's a guardian access. I also get a guardian email now, right? So the guardians, they can now click on there, and they can now follow this, and they can see how to install the app, and they can go through this whole process, right? So now that I have the guardian added, I have the student added, I have my classes added, and I have my indicators added. When I go back to the dashboard, I will now see something different. I will see that today's stats, it's showing me that 0 out of 1 students recited. Well, my school only has 1 student for now. Now you can add many more students, but currently my school only has 1 student. And the history, you can see there's nothing that was captured previously. So no lessons were captured previously. So now I want to start capturing a lesson. So the way I'll capture a lesson is I will click on search, or I can go by class. We're going to come back to attendance register, but for now, let's go for search. So I search for Musa Moses, and I press enter. So now I'm faced with this. This is now Musa Moses' profile, and I can click on view profile to see his guardian's details, and I can start capturing a lesson. I can start capturing targets, completions, choose overview, reports, rounds, exams, etc. For now, we're going to capture a lesson for Musa Moses. So let's say I go to Musa Moses. I'm going to capture a new lesson, and I'm going to say verse to verse. Now, this is the first time he's reciting Quran. So let's say Musa, or rather, he's already far in the Quran. So let's say Musa Moses is starting Surah Ma'idah. I can now say his first lesson will start at Surah Ma'idah, and I press start. So now as a teacher, initially with a door book, I used to sit with like blocks and I used to tick. Now I don't have to tick anymore. I can now just press, if he makes a mistake, I just press the plus button. If he makes a tajweed, I press the plus button. If he makes a stuck, I press the plus button. And I keep doing that. If I made a mistake, I just can't go back, right? So I can pause a lesson, I can delete this lesson, I can mark this lesson as incomplete, and I can proceed with this lesson. So now I'm going to go proceed with the lesson, and it's going to ask me, where did Musa stop? So if I scroll down, let's say you stop there, and I say Musa has given 15 lines, right? And I say, good work, mashallah, right? As a teacher, I put in a comment, it can be up to 500 words, characters, and I say save. So now back on my dashboard, I see that 1 out of 1 student recited today. And I see that the recitation here at the bottom, the last recitation is shown here. Musa Moses recited Surah 5, verse 1 until Surah 5, verse 11. less than a minute ago. He recited this just now, all right? And it's in the comment the teacher put there, good work. Now the teacher can go and edit the lesson, right? But I'm not going to do that now. What I'm going to focus now is on the guardian side. So now we've captured a lesson. How does this now get communicated to the parent? So the way it gets communicated to the parent is if I click on Musa Moses' name here, I will now be shown his profile. I'll see his last lesson here. I will still see his targets, completions, and everything else. But the main thing now is I see now this thing is not anymore green. It's now red. And it's showing me one unread lesson from parents or guardians. So this feature was launched on the 27th of January. So if I click on view details, I will now see that Yusuf Moses hasn't read the lesson. He's got one lesson unread. He hasn't read the lesson. All right. So now I can either phone him or I can tell him, Sheikh Yusuf, read your child's lessons, like make sure you're on par. I can see you haven't opened the app. Now, Yusuf can tell you, you know what, I did get the email, but I struggled to log in. I couldn't get into the app. Like I got the email, I have the password, but I'm just struggling and I don't have time. Right? You say, okay, no problem. What I'll do is I'll send you a WhatsApp. Right? So now all you do is you press this button here that says send WhatsApp message. So when I send the message now, it says WhatsApp message sent. Right? Now, time goes by, and you now go, the next day comes on, and you go back to Musa Moses, and you still see 100 lesson. You're like, okay, I'll sort that out a bit later. And now you go to start capturing. You're now going to capture another lesson from Musa Moses. So you say new lesson, you say verse to verse. It takes you to the last verse Musa Moses recited yesterday. So you don't have to scroll. It will take you automatically where Musa Moses stopped yesterday. So you say, okay, you're going to start at verse 12 today. You start, Musa Moses recites again. You say one mistake, one tajweed, and you say proceed. And then you say, okay, Musa Moses stopped here. And now you say this maybe 10 lines. And you say, good work. All right. Or rather, let's make this a little bit more interesting. Let's say Musa Moses today just made a lot of mistakes. And then he he just couldn't complete the lesson, right? This is not on, or rather needs help. This is not good. Let's just make it a little bit more different. So now you say save. Now you'll see on the dashboard, Musa Moses, 2 lessons were captured for him. One lesson was could not complete, and one he completed well. And the comment was basically he needs help. Now you click back on Musa Moses, and now you see one unread lesson. One unread lesson. Okay, it only gets a successful lesson. So you click on there, and then now you notice that he still hasn't read the lessons, right? So Yusuf Moses still hasn't read the lessons. So did he get the WhatsApp or something? So now you can say, okay, I'll send him another WhatsApp, right? So now you click, and now you get an error message, and this error says unable to send message. The last message sent to this number failed to deliver. I remember in the beginning when I created the Guardian, I made this number incorrect deliberately, right? To show you that this can happen. So if the number is incorrect, then the Guardians won't get the WhatsApp messages. So to fix this, you can now click on this pencil button, right? You click on the pencil button, and when you click on the pencil button, you can fix the number. And this number is missing a 9. So now, let me just verify, it is correct. So now I say save. Now I saved the number. I updated the number. Now I press send. Now it's telling me WhatsApp sent, right? Now, Musa Moses, he gets a message on his phone. He gets a message. I sent it. He gets a message on his phone. Assalamu alaikum. You have 1 unread lesson updates in QuranBook. Click the button below to access them. And all he does is he clicks the button and QuranBook opens up, right? And he's logged in. And now he can see the lessons that he hasn't read for Musa Moses. We're like, oh, okay, so there's a lesson I must still read. And he can click on that lesson, and he will be shown this is the lesson you haven't read. And he clicks on view update, And now he can see, oh, okay, Musa got 678. Good work, mashallah. That's how many mistakes he made. And basically, like the way he started and where he stopped. And now he can go back and he can click on Musa's profile and he can now see all the lessons that was captured for Moses. Like you can see, okay, this lesson was captured. Oh, what's this? Could not complete, need help. This is not good. So this is where the teacher can now communicate with the parent what the child must be doing at home, right? So now, and there, the parent didn't have to log in. The parent got a WhatsApp message, they clicked on a link from a WhatsApp message, and they were in the app. Right? That's how simple it is now, alhamdulillah. So now the teacher can now also see, okay, let's see how many messages were sent to this parent. Right? So let's just say now the next day comes again and he captures another lesson from Moses. So let's say this time he's going to capture a old lesson. So Moses is going to recite Juz 4, proceed. He's going to recite it in quarters. And we're going to say proceed. So now Moses is going to recite it Juz 4, quarter 1, Juz 4, quarter 2, Juz 4, quarter 3, Juz 4, quarter 4, and they say start. And now as Moses is reciting Juz 4, quarter 1, you say, okay, he makes a mistake in quarter 1. Now eventually he reaches quarter 2. And now you just press that button. And now I say he makes a tajweed mistake in quarter 2. Now eventually he reaches quarter 3. He makes a stuck there. And then eventually he reaches the final quarter and he makes a tajweed and a mistake. And now you press proceed. So now you get an overview of how many mistakes he made in each quarter, how many tajweed, how many stucks he made in each quarter. And then you can say, can do better, right? You just leave that comment and you say save. So now you're back on the app, and then now you click back on Moses, and now you see, oh, there's again 100 lesson. So the parent didn't read the lesson. So now automatically your objective is to have this to be green, to show 0 unread lessons. That's your objective. Like all the guardians must have read the lessons, and that will indicate that they are on par with their child's journey. Like they're on the path, they know what their child is going through, they know where their child is, they have an idea of what is going on. So if they click on view, if you click on view details, you will now see this again. There's 100 message there. So 100 out of 2. So it's not red anymore, it's now orange. Right? Orange indicating that, you know, he has read some lessons in the past. Not like he hasn't read it at all. But now you want to click send. And then you get an error. And the error says you can only send one message every 24 hours. So please wait 23 hours before sending a message. And the reason for this is we don't want the parents to just see the whole time, Quran, like, you know, messages being sent to them the whole time. So basically, if you send a message to the parent once a day, if they're not on the app, then at least daily they can see what's happening. And if you want to see the history, you can click on view message history. And this will now show you how many times messages was sent to him. And you can now see that a message was sent to Yusuf, sent by Abdullah Haidar, the teacher who sent it, and at what time they sent it. Right? And here also you can see Yusuf Moses, the message was sent and what time it also was sent. Right? So that's basically the new WhatsApp integration. This feature is brand new. It was released just this morning, a few minutes before the meeting. Right? And it is now working, alhamdulillah. And this basically helps the parents stay on track. So the other option is the parent could have come on this side. They could have basically opened the portal, click on the portal. Let me just log out. Click on the portal, put in their email address like that, right? And then put in their password that they got, and then sign in. Right? And then they would be asked to create a new password similar to the way the teachers were done. Right? And now they click on proceed and then they logged in. So they will see exactly the same things that they would have seen if they were if they got the message via WhatsApp. Right? So they would see the exact same thing. So now that we have the parent getting the message, alhamdulillah, it's all good. Right? So that's basically the main focus of this talk was, or this workshop, was to launch the new WhatsApp feature. and how simplified it is to capture lessons on QuranBook. Now, currently, we only captured a old lesson and a new lesson. You can also capture lessons like for instance, if a student is reciting to another student, but you want to capture it in the app, right? You can do that also. So let's say I need to add another student first before we can do that, right? So I go and I add a student. I'm going to add a student. Let's call this person, what are we going to call him? Give him a name. We're going to call him Ibrahim Abrams, all right? And we're going to add him also to the junior class, and we say save. We're not going to add a guardian to him for now. We'll leave him as is. So and then what we're going to do is we're going to capture a lesson from Musa Moses again. But this time we're going to say he's not reciting to the teacher, he's reciting to a student. And the student is reciting to is Ibrahim Abrams. Right? So I click on Ibrahim Abrams. He's going to recite a half a juz to Ibrahim Abrams. We'll select the range. So you can select a half a juz where it's like different parts. So he's reciting the first quarter and the last quarter only. Or do you want him to recite like continuously, right? So let's say we're going to go range. He's going to recite first half of 3, right? And then we say proceed. And then he's going to recite it in quarters. Or he's going to recite it continuous. So he's going to recite the whole half, and now he recites, and then let's say Ibrahim listened to him, and Ibrahim says he only made 2 mistakes. You say, okay. And then you can add a comment in here. You can say good work, right? And then you say save. So now what you'll notice is on the teacher app, you notice that the lesson has been captured. It says good work, teacher's comment, but it says the listener was Ibrahim Abrams. So the listener wasn't the teacher, it was a student, right? And it will indicate here by the S also on this side. So if you click on that child's profile now, you will see that when a student listens to you, the block becomes yellow. And then when the teacher listens to you, it is normally white. Now, if you go to the parent side, a similar thing will be happening, right? So if you click on Musa Moses, you will see that there is the student listener. It says peer listener. So and then it was captured by the teacher, but that student was the one that listened to his work. And so the parent can know, okay, if your friend says you know your work and your teacher says you know your work, it's a different scenario or a different case, right? And that basically is it in a nutshell, what QuranBook is all about, right? One other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to capture attendance, right? So that's how our lesson capturing works. One other thing you can do, we're going to capture other lesson type, and this lesson type is called other. So inside reading is similar to new lesson. It's just like from verse to verse. So let's say the child is preparing tomorrow's sabak or tomorrow's new work, and you let them read inside. You can actually jot that down and see how they are, how's the inside reading, are they struggling? And then that can give you an indication of how the sabak will be, all right? But I'm gonna do other. So other is basically any lesson type that you want to capture. So let's say the child is doing surah, and now they're learning about fatha. All right, so now you can put in fatha here, all right? And you can say basically maybe struggles to recognize when, or let's say he's learning about harakah or harakat, right? Struggles to recognize the difference between fatha and kasra. Let's just say something like that. So now you have something recorded. So now you say save. Now I know Musa Moses is already in the 6th juz, but let's just say a child was in the surah. And the parent will also get that update where they can now see it's something that was captured. It's called harakat. So it's not like a Quran section. And the comment there, and they can see the lesson type is other. So it's not like a old lesson, recent lesson, or a new lesson. And then they can now view and they can see, okay, so he's struggling with this, and now the parent is involved in the journey. The parent can now take action based on data. And this graph I didn't discuss, but it shows how much new lesson the child is given in the last 7 days. So as you can see today, Musa Moses has given 15 lines, and that's why this is showing up. And you can go through the graph. But in its essence, this now brings the parent closer on the child's journey, on the child's Quranic journey. Like they can now see what their child is doing, how the child is performing. The last bit now we're going to do, we're not going to take too long with this. I want to have some time for question and answers. I'm going to do attendance. So let's say I go to attendance register and I click on there. I can't do attendance registers because I haven't set up my time slots. So the way I set up my time slots is I will go to settings, and then under settings, I have attendance settings. So I will create a time slot. Now my school starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 8 o'clock. And it ends at, let's just say, 12:30. Right, that's just the made up time. Here we go. So now we have a slot for that. Now you can add multiple slots, especially in the Johannesburg region. They've got multiple time slots. So now when I go back to the dashboard, I can now go to attendance register. I can go to juniors, and it's today's date, and I can select that time slot. And I can now mark Musa Moses as present. Right, so he's present. I just press the button and it can be marked as absent. I can press that same button, can be marked as late, can be marked as left early, and it can be marked as other. So let's say the child is in school. They didn't leave early, they didn't come late, they weren't absent, but they were present, but they couldn't recite. So you can put in a reason in here, like you can say what the reason is, maybe a sore throat. Right? They can't recite, but they can maybe listen to other students. You press save. So now you'll see there's a sore throat and the list and the attendance is other. But if I were to make it absent, you can see I can also add a reason, maybe also sore throat. And if the student was late, I can add a reason, but now I can also add a time. I can now say, you actually came to school at 8:20. So now we can see he came to school at 8:20 and he says, basically, bus took a wrong turn, right? So the bus took a wrong turn and he came late. Right, so you can capture that. And then when you go back to Musa Moses now, you will see automatically all his last 30 attendance days shown in front of you. Then one last thing I want to do is for schools to do, very important, all schools must do this now, is you must go to your settings and you must update your account information, right? So your account information, if you click on it, you will see everything about your school year, right? So you can edit it and you can say, like I put some area here randomly. You can put in your area's name, let's say Athlone, Cape Town, and here you can say the province is Western Cape, and the code is 7, whatever it is in the Athlone region, and the phone number, and you save, right? So now that is saved, what we'll do is going forward in the future, we're going to have a section on the QuranBook website where you'll be able to find QuranBook schools. And then once you find QuranBook schools, you can then register to a school via the website, and then they will appear on the application itself. And then from there, you can process applications in that manner, inshallah. So that's it for this workshop. We're not going to go too much detail in. The main purpose was the WhatsApp communication launch and the new feature that we just built recently. Is there any questions? On the YouTube live, you can leave comments, and in this Zoom, you can ask. Assalamu alaikum. Someone speaking? If you are speaking, we cannot hear you clearly. Okay, there are no chats. Okay, I think everything is then clear. It means the presentation was clear as it could be. Just one other thing maybe I can go through. I can show you the juz overview. This will give you all the ajaza Musa Moses has recited. So Nan, it's not a number. It's basically like the other lesson that is recited, which is not on here. But these are basically some of the stats. You can set targets, you can do rounds, exams, reports. Let's see if I click on reports and I do until today, it will generate me a report. It takes a few seconds and it will open up. It will now show me that Musa Moses started just 6 on the 15th of February, and he's still busy with it on the 15th of February. He's only recited one lesson in there. There's many more reports to come, inshallah, in the near future. Let's see, you've got a message in Zoom. Oh, where's the chat now? Bring it this side. It says, excellent program. Assalamu alaikum. So by when will we have WhatsApp on the QuranBook? It's already there. WhatsApp is already on QuranBook. All you need to do is when you go on the application, just press the QuranBook logo a couple of times. So you click on the child's name, click on view details, and then you just press this logo a couple of times. So it will take you to the front, but eventually you will see until you see the WhatsApp. So the feature is already there and it can be used as of now. So for now, the WhatsApp feature and functionality will be open to everyone, right? In the coming week, inshallah, we will send out communication for schools to fill out forms where they will be able to choose what features they're going to be using in QuranBook. And then from there, inshallah, limits will then be placed, like those who choose to use the WhatsApp and those who don't choose to use the WhatsApp. Jazakallah khair. Is that it? Any more questions? So on the call with us is Umar Daniels, one of our support staff. And if you have any issues or anything that you struggle with in QuranBook, he is the person that will basically assist you. And when you message the QuranBook number, he is the one that you reach out to and that answers all your questions. Okay, khair. Is there any more questions? So, Alima Wasifa, did you try it out now? Is it working on your side? Just let us know if you see the WhatsApp functionality. So just check. Let's make that the final part of the video, inshallah. So we're waiting on Alima Wasifa to let us know if the WhatsApp functionality is working on her side. When she gives us the go-ahead, that is official. You don't see it on your son's profile. Is there view, does your son have some outstanding unread lessons? So there must be unread lessons for you to access it. So one of the ways you can also do it is when you're on the application itself, what you do is when you're on the app, so this is the phone, you can pull down your phone, like pull down, you pull, like you just drag, you refresh the screen, and then eventually it will appear. So go to someone's profile who has unread lessons, right? And then you click on there. So this Wasifa, Walima Wasifa is chatting on the chat and I'm answering her questions. Umar, anything else you want to add? Okay, we will just let us know if you can find a student with that's Dar Tahfidh Academy. Is it correct? So click on on one of the first student that's there. The first student, if you click on him, you will see he has unread lessons. Right, the first student of Dar Tahfidh, he's got 800 lessons. And then when you click on view details, you should see it. So just let us know. I'm seeing it on my side. Okay, Alhamdulillah. So Malam Wasifa says it's there. So it's official. The WhatsApp feature is now finally launched and people can access it on their phones and they can press the send WhatsApp message button and WhatsApps will be sent to parents who have not opened the application, who have not been able to log in and who have not been able to basically see what their child is doing in class. So Alhamdulillah, I think we'll end it there for now. Jazakallah khair for everyone that's been joining. The video will be made available, inshallah. And from there, you can then share it with whoever is interested and in watching the video. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك